All right, thank you. That brings us to item number 15, House Bill 979. We have a motion and a second, and we have an amendment that rewrites the bill 6940. Is that correct? Yeah, it's untimely filed.
Okay. Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay, it is motion second. It's an untimely filed amendment that rewrites the bill. If there is no objection, we'll go ahead and put that on the bill. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. We are back on the bill as amended. You're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman and members. For over 50 years, Tennessee law has prohibited anesthesiologists, emergency physicians, pathologists, and radiologists from seeking direct employment to hospitals. At the same time, hospitals have been allowed to employ other physician types, such as hospitalists. This long-standing restriction has created an imbalance and left our hospitals unable to fully address the patient's needs and the services, critical healthcare services that are needed to be provided for in our communities. I have long expressed the concern over this, and particularly have experienced it myself in the last several weeks as my wife was a patient in our own local hospital. As Tennessee's population continues to grow and age, the demands on our healthcare system are going to continue to grow across the state. Chairman and members, this bill, ironically, is held today because of the healthcare business that it is currently going on, but it's actually a workforce development piece of legislation, particularly for those rural areas like mine across the state. This amendment, Drafting Code 6940, which rewrites the bill, is strongly supported by healthcare organizations, including the Tennessee Hospital Association, Tennessee Medical Association, Tennessee Society of Anesthesiologists, Tennessee Radiological Society, and the Tennessee American College of Emergency Room Physicians, and finally the Tennessee Academy of Anesthesiology Assistants, as well as many others. Broad support from these stakeholders highlights the widespread recognition of the need for reform and the positive impact this legislation will have for the healthcare landscape across Tennessee. This bill will allow hospitals and counties with a population of 105,000 persons based upon the 2020 census, as well as children's hospitals, to be allowed to employ those four types: anesthesiologists, radiologists, pathologists, and emergency room physicians. This change will provide hospitals in these underserved areas, like in Putnam County, with greater flexibility in staffing, helping them address the critical access shortages to improve healthcare delivery across our state. By allowing these facilities to employ specialists, we empower them to make the necessary adjustments to meet patients' needs. In addition to this, there were some additional changes that the chairman of Health Sub asked us to look at to make sure that we were protecting the current practice in our hospitals as it relates to the original language associated with CRNAs. I'm happy to say that after many phone conversations and discussions, I think we've gotten this bill in the best place that we can. First, the mandatory language also deletes and replaces the original medical direction language for hospital-employed anesthesiologists and makes it clear that the model will in no way impact CRNAs or hospitals' ability to use whichever anesthesia care ratio model needed to best serve Tennessee's patients. Second, it makes a change to the definition of an anesthesiologist to make sure all Tennessee licensed anesthesiologists can supervise. Third, it makes a cleanup requested by the Department of Health. And particularly on page 3 of the document, page 10 of the document, section 6321-104, we did make some changes to make stakeholders happy as it relates to changing the word from may to shall. With that, Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions the members may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the sponsor of the bill? All right, seeing none. Roseanne McKenzie.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And to the sponsor, I appreciate you bringing the bill, and I really appreciate you having that number, because I think this is a rural bill, and it's going to do good things for that community. So, but there's no plans to expand this to, higher density counties in the future, are there?
You're recognized.
Thank you. No, there's no intent of the sponsor to change any of the population requirements that are currently in the statute.
Thank you. Representative Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Quick question for the sponsor. Would a CRNA still be able to practice under medical supervision, QZ billing?
You're recognized.
Yes.
That's it. All right. Any further questions? All right. Seeing none, I've been asked by TANA and TSA to make a statement on the clarification that relates to medical direction language in the bill, and I'm happy to do so. And obviously, I have a conflict on this bill, so I'm going to be blue lighting it. But so to be clear, this bill does not say that a hospital-employed anesthesiologist has to only medically direct cases, nor does it say that that if a hospital employs an anesthesiologist, all cases will be medically directed, nor does it say that if a hospital employs an anesthesiologist that a CRNA has to be medically directed. It says that a hospital, to the extent applicable, will ensure the anesthesiologist is able to comply with Medicare conditions for payment for medically directed or personally performed anesthesia services if they are employed. And so the intent is that the hospitals will ensure that the patient volume or operating room conditions do not prohibit an anesthesiologist from performing perioperative care. And it just so happens that the perioperative care guidelines are outlined in the CMS medically directed language. So the TSA has asked that hospitals not put anesthesiologists in untenable position of being unable to perform perioperative care, and the THA has agreed to not place patients and anesthesiologists in that position. Not place anesthesiologists in that kind of position. Again, it does not say that every anesthetic is going to be medically directed, but the intent is that hospitals will ensure that the patient volume or operating room condition does not prohibit an anesthesiologist from performing perioperative care. Thank you. Clerk, can you please open the vote? All those in favor of House Bill 979 as amended, moving on to government operations, vote yes. All those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, 21 ayes, 1 nay, and 1 present not voting.
Okay, thank you. House Bill 979 passes and moves on to government operations as amended.